My name is Judy Mertz, a designer with Aunties Beads, and today we'll be showing you how to make a clasp. The tools and materials needed for today is your metal ring mandrel, your bell making pliers, mallet, flush cutters, chain nose pliers, burr cup, and 20 gauge wire. To begin the clasp, I like to use a 20 gauge artistic wire that is silver plated. In my experience, this has been the very best wire to use. It's pretty, it's shiny. If it gets tarnished, you can simply use a soft cotton cloth to rub it off. Otherwise, with the work that we're going to be doing, if you're not careful, you could end up scarring the wire, or you could see the kind of wire that's used underneath it. And this wire, you're not going to see that. So this is the one I recommend to use. So to get started, we're going to simply use the end of the wire. We're going to use the looping plier, and we're going to make a loop. We're going to coil the loop in a little tightly, just so that it looks pretty. I'm going to use my chain nose plier to bring it on in a little bit. Like such. And then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to trim the back off right here. Okay, so you have a nice coil, nice tight coil in the back. Okay. Now we're going to take your bell looping plier and we're going to put it at the base of your clasp. We're going to bring it back just, well, bring it back just a little bit. Okay. More like a 90-degree angle. We're going to use your ring mandrel. And we're going to bring it around the end to make a nice circle. Now you can bring it around any end size you want, just depending on the size of the clasp that you're wanting to make. Okay. Once you get it to this stage, you're just going to bring it forward a little bit and bring your wire on down. I tend to massage my wire with my hands so that I get the exact shape that I want. Now this is a 20 gauge wire, and that's easily done with a 20 gauge, and once we're finished, we're going to work hard on our product so that it doesn't continue to be manipulated so easily. Okay? You're going to trim the end. I tend to use a pretty long length at the end because this is what keeps your clasp clasped into either a simple circle or an element that you make for it to fit into. So you need a nice length, and then on the end you put a nice little circle so that it catches on the ring that it's going into in the event it tries to come unclasped. Then we take our element and we work hard in it. You can use your tools, just the broadest part of it. You take your mallet and you simply hammer it so that the metal gets work hardened. And using it on metal is really the best way to do it. You can work hardening it on a wood block and metal block, but for those of you that are new to wire making, you can use the tool that you currently have. Now as we get more difficult And as we progress through the different phases, it will be important for you to get a metal block, but at this stage, this is simply fine. So this would be your 20 gauge clasp, and you would simply use a jump ring, or you can make a figure 8. The figure 8 is easily made with simply taking your bail making plier. And move some of the tools out of the way here. Okay? And it's simply like that, a figure 8. So you bring your wire all the way around this way, just like that. You place your tool back here up close, and you bring it around again, like this. Okay. You cut off the extra. And you really want to cut it flush, and you want to make sure when you're cutting these on a figure 8 that when you make your cut, you're cutting it so that it's flat against the parallel side. So you have to kind of turn your flush cutter a little upside down to do that. Okay, and you want to make sure you do that for both sides. So again, upside down because you want it flush on the opposite side. Okay. Then you bring your bail making plier back in and you snug it up against the side. Okay. Chain nose plier. Okay. And then we're going to work hard in this one as well. You would simply fit your clasp into a circle like this. Now, another way to do that, if you want it to fit flat against your wrist, is to turn your figure 8 so that it looks like this. You fit your clasp through here, and now it fits nice and flat against your skin for your clasp. Now this is a 20 gauge and is easily made and handled, but you can do this in any gauge you like. You can do them, for example, this is a 16 gauge. Keep in mind that the higher the number, the smaller the gauge. So a 20 gauge wire is much smaller than a 16 gauge wire. This one is a 16 gauge. And this is what your figure 8 looks like when you do that one.